Welcome to this session on the importance of protecting and restoring mangroves to address climate change. Today we will discuss this topic and we'll learn a little bit more about this in a minute, but we will also learn about the mangrove experience of the UN's first digital ambassador, and that is Elix, the figure Elix. And we will discuss how we can mobilize and drive action for climate through arts, culture, and technology. And with me here today are Yassine Aitkassi, the creator of Elix, our UN first digital ambassador, and Adeline Pilon, the executive president of the Elix Foundation. And welcome to both of you. And Yassine and Adeline, we have seen Elix tour the world. We have seen him advocate for human rights and for the sustainable development goals. And now he is advocating to protect and restore mangroves. And before we start our conversation, I would really like to have a look at a clip. Well, thank you so much, Yassine and Adeline, for bringing this to us. It looks fantastic, and I can't wait to if you want, play with that and join Elix on this journey. But let me start by asking you, Yassine, why mangroves? Why are mangroves so important to address climate change?
Mangroves and mangroves areas are a little bit like, belts around Earth because it's located, in tropical areas. And it's a little bit the security belt of Earth. Because a few people know it, but the mangrove are an amazing tool to capture carbon, about 4 times more than regular forests. And they have also a lot of qualities to protect the lands, the coastal lands. And the mangrove, when you regenerate the mangrove, you protect the land and also you capture more carbon. So that's the reason why it's a very powerful tool to address climate change and fight climate change and help also communities in some of the regions that are the most affected by the consequences of it.
Yes, obviously a very important area. As we said before, Elix so far has, advocated for the big human rights and development frameworks. He has really taken the bird's eye view, if you want. And now the figure is going into detail in mangroves. How is that, if you want, the logical next step for a figure like Elix?
Absolutely. Elix exists for more than 12 years now, and it has always been a fictional character, but that acts in the real world, and that's how also he came to the United Nations, because he can speak to anyone in the world. And the motto of this COP28 is deliver, act. No, it's unite, act, deliver. So obviously, Helix is about uniting because it's a common language for everyone, very simple, everyone can understand it. But it's not enough. I mean, in 2023, the promotion is not enough. It's not enough to tell the problem. You have also to address them. So we pass from uniting to act and deliver. And action can be done in many ways. I mean, we ask people to be involved on social digital networks, but then you have also to deliver a real impact. And that's what we do with this kind of experience. In the Mangrove experience, you have all the learning parts, and then from that you can take part to the restoration of the mangrove. This is the deliver part.
And how does that, through this experience, you learn and you understand, how can you deliver when you follow Helix through this experience?
In the experience, you see the mangrove in nowadays, like in 2023, and all the problems that has to be addressed. Then you can jump to 2030 and you see how it was restored, and what has been done into this time. And then we are partnering with a company named Carbonable that can give you NFTs that come with carbon credits. And with these carbon credits, we actually finance the restoration of the area that has been chosen. So it's very important because not only for audience, but also for companies, they can have they can make a real action, but also track what has been done with their investment. They can see the different steps from the money they gave to the restoration of the area. That's the principle of blockchain. So through this project, we have this artistic experience and learning experience to also a real impact experience where you can follow what has been done with your money.
So very clearly, digital technology, a very important part of that. And that brings me to you, Adeline, because with the foundation, with the Helix Foundation, you work at the intersection of arts, culture, but also technology, and that is digital technology. And how do you see this as a particularly potent mix, if you want, to drive social change and to drive climate action? And how have you seen this play out in Helix's campaigns?
Well, actually, we work a lot now on the relationship between culture and future. And what we think is like culture shapes the future. This has always been true since ever. But why it's more important today is because time flies. Its future is now. So as soon as you do a representation about, for example, here, a regenerating mangrove, it makes you think for tomorrow mangrove, because time is going really, really fast today. And the other way of the relationship is like in the future, culture will be more important in our economies, in our activities, in our social representations, because we're going away from fossil fuel industries, from extractive industries, and we are going more and more to creative industries. And this is true in all over the world. Of course, in the Gulf region, there are many giga project examples with Saudis forecasting over like 200 museums and art places to come by 10 years. But also when you see what's going on in Africa, you see that like there's transferring from raw material industries to cultural industries. I'm taking to Senegal, hosting more and more artists and creativity with the Biennale. I'm thinking also to the French brand, the French luxury brand Chanel, that have chosen Senegal to be the first country to do a catwalk outside of Europe. I'm also thinking to Nigeria, which is the second place to produce movies. So there is a global move about in the future that going away from extractive industry to to creative industries. And also when we think to adaptation, to really locally led adaptation, we saw today that we need to restore like really ancestral techniques, ancestral habits. For example, in the mangrove, but also in housing, the way we build architectures of house of tomorrow is not only about technology, it's also about restoring really ancestral practice. And those are immaterial patrimony. And we need to protect this material patrimony, not only in physical museum, it can be also digital museum, it can be light infrastructure, but it's also about protecting culture. So that's why we really work at the foundation and we advocate about the relationship between culture and future and future and culture. And so what we've been seeing in all our companies, Alex, is like we always like really comfortable with this position that in all our campaign we mix cognitive and brains elements with heart, and we connect it with heart and emotion because we're both cognitive and we're both emotional bodies. So we've always been like doing whatever we do, we accept that we are like this dual, we all have this dual part inside us. And the evolution of what we've been doing, and this evolution is also thanks to the technology and the evolution of the technologies, is like at the, like 12 years ago when Elix was created, 10 years ago when he was named the ambassador of the UN, it was more about like awareness campaign. Then we added like a call to action to change people's habits. For example, when we team up for Act Now. And now what we do is like inside the campaign, inside the experience, we embed a concrete contribution. So that's in the mangrove. The mangrove, you play on the game, and at the end of the game, go. It's not just things that next time don't walk through a mangrove. It's not only a call to action. It's now contribute to restore it.
Well, very clearly, you have already outlined there really the evolution also of the campaigns, and that's actually what I was so interested in really to learn. And because with the development of technology, the campaigns and the character Elix has also evolved and further developed. Because as you said earlier, the future is now, and things change extremely fast, and Elix obviously has changed with that. And now this experience is a virtual reality experience. So the question maybe to you again, Yassine, how can, I don't even want to say users, but people who travel, co-travelers with Elix, how can they transfer what they see in virtual reality to their real life, if you want?
This will be one of the major issues in the near future, especially with artificial intelligence and the way the digital life totally entered into our daily life. So we really need to create bridges between this virtual life, whatever we call it, and it's not necessarily through virtual reality, but also with our social network lives and so on, and what is happening with artificial intelligence with the real life on the field, the real life in the communities. So that's the reason why we use this blockchain technology with Carbonable in order to be able to finance the project, but also to have a track of the finance, because with the NFT and with the blockchain, you can see all the transactions that are done. So when you have here at the COP all this announced about millions given to the project and so on, so that's absolutely great. But it's very important for the people to keep the trust of the path between the money and the final impact. So the money goes really to the people who need that, and not too many intermediaries. So that's what the blockchain will be very, very important in the near future, because as you can track all the transaction, there is a direct link between your contribution and what will happen on the field. And then from that, of course, there are a lot of local NGO that work directly on the mangroves. And as Adeline said, it's the locally led adaptation. It's not a global project with money going you don't know where. It's really directly connecting to the communities, and with the blockchain we can create a direct connection between the user or company or anyone who wants to have a real impact and the project that has been selected and not by us but by an expert on the domain, so that can be tracked also, and that's we create. In fact, we design the connection between this digital experience and the final project.
So in a way, also giving people agency by seeing the direct impact they can have by joining ELIX on this journey. Adeline, I would like to ask you a little bit more about the scope, really, of this impact, your collaboration with experts and with organizations that work directly in mangrove reforestation and protection.
Well, the whole team about mangrove, we team up. When we produce it, we team up with a lot of counterparts. We have, like, first of all, we are going, if we do like the whole experience with like a physical installation plus a virtual installation, like a virtual experience in the VR headset plus the tokenization for restoration of the mangrove. This is a three-step experience that brings a lot of people with us. First of all, we'll need to work with Carbonable. Carbonable is one of our main partners on that, because they were going to work with mangrove experts plus companies such as the ones that will audit how good are the carbon credit, and then from that we will need to select which mangrove and the sizes and size the ambition of the experience, and one after we can embed this selected mangrove and with a selected size into the project, into the experience. So before, like, this mangrove experience can be shown so many times, but each time it's shown is connected to one mangrove. But to connect it to one mangrove, we need to bring experts, we need to bring companies that can audit what the carbon credits are about, and we need Carbonable to embed the whole things into each experience.
We'll add that today you can already experience the project through our website, and so you don't need a VR headset. You can go in a virtual space that is already available on our website, elix.net, and you can see all the topics in 2023 and 2030.
See, you knew already what I would ask you next, Yassine, so thank you very much. Thanks a lot for providing that information. And Adeline, maybe also one last question for you. What are the next projects? Are you already planning next projects through the foundation?
Yes, we're always planning next project. Actually, is our DNA. The thing is, like, we really like thinking the world as a digital world, not thinking the digital on one side and the physical real life in the other side. We really think that we are living in this digital mix, hybrid, whatever the term you want to use, but this really mixed realities. And then when you see this, is like really what about I said before, like culture gives you an image, a representation of what the next future, the immediate future will be. So what we're doing with mangrove, like showing how it will be when it's restored and push you to contribute to it, that can be reproduced with many purposes. Because with the 17 SDGs, we just have like so many options of purpose we can defend and contribute to. So the thing is really vast. And so we've been working on other topic with the same formula. We are working with a association and companies that help people to build sustainable housing in the whole Sahel. We are working also in the next month because Paris will receive the Olympics Games. So we're working on over the sports infrastructure can help Paris to be more sustainable. So once again, it's two topics we are working on, but we can work on many topics because as soon as we will reproduce the digital formula.
And with the smile of Elix, always keep in mind that hope drives action. So this is, as Adeline said, it can be many topics, but with the same spirit that we can contribute to a better future. And so this is what symbolizes this smile. It's not that everything is all right. We know that we have a lot to do, but this is the spirit to make action and to be in the action.
And I think it is so important, and thanks for ending on that note, because I think it is so important to still provide also a narrative of hope, to engage people and to drive the action that we know is needed. And this is why it's so wonderful to always so wonderful to talking to you, Yassine and Adeline. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much for your energy, for all your ideas, for giving us our first digital ambassador at the United Nations with the figure Elix. And thank you for your great collaboration.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.